A big mabuhay around the world, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's week is going great. Mine has. The sun is shining, the blue sky is out, and the warm white clouds are floating by. Man, it's been a great week, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I know we've had a little hiccups in the southeast of the U.S., so those of you that have been getting some, hurt on because of the gas supply, I hope that gas gets back. But overall, the U.S. is ready to roll, baby. We're ready to get back out of this, whatever you want to call it, right? And get back to business as usual. Now, I know in the Philippines, things have been a little dicey. There's still some quotas. I heard of some people having their tickets canceled, and oh, man. So all our prayers go out to everyone in the Philippines, especially those out of work, don't make enough money in the Metro Plus area. I hope things go better. And in anticipation of things going better, I know some of you out there are waiting to go to the Philippines for the first time. I know others of you have already been there and are going back. But I've been getting all these questions about, is it true that Filipinos will go with older guys? Or what are they looking for? Or will they go with younger guys? Or they're looking for a rich guy? And so what I did, I spared no expense, everybody. I went out there and I looked around the internet and I looked around to see what Filipinos are looking for, right? Let's take a look. So in my exhaustive search, I did a very, very scientific study. I went to one website. So I don't know these guys. They look legit. They run like services to Cebu. Maybe some of you are interested. I swear I have nothing to do with them. Haven't been paid or anything. They just let me look around without registering. So, hey, it was easy. But it seems to be sort of familiar territory. I did this 15 years ago when I was looking for a wife. And I basically was looking for a Filipina because I know they were serious about children and family. And they wanted to get married as soon as it was able to do so. Meaning they're not putting things off. And as I was looking for a wife in the U.S., oh man, I was a teacher. I didn't make a lot of money. I'm not a tall guy. I don't think I'm a bad looking guy, but I'm not a tall guy. I used to go to the gym, pumping iron, doing all this stuff, making money. And, wow. It was just like one big disaster after another. Not really a disaster. You meet people you don't like and they don't like you or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But just like everyone was just kind of in a malaise, like in a funk. No one wanted to be happy and get married. And I asked my friend, I remember this, who had been divorced, and he said, I go, why is it like this? He goes, because no one believes. I said, in what? Love. Oh, well, okay. All right, well, I believe. And I know that those people searching on the internet believe in love. And if you go through the profiles, let's go take a look again real quick at this Cebu women website. Filipinas believe in love. And that's what you'll see in their profiles. Someone to love me. Someone to take care of me. Someone to be a good husband to me and my family. So you have single parents that are Filipina. You have those who don't have children. You have college graduates, high school graduates, no graduates. But there is a common denominator. They're looking to get married. Okay? And they're looking to have a permanent relationship with someone who cares for them. And they say in there that if the guy's older, they don't care. Well, let's be honest, they do care. But they're willing to sort of sacrifice that if you're not a bad guy. If you care for them and you're financially stable and you love them, they're willing to look beyond that. And they will stay with you in your older years. I mean, my wife knows Filipinas have done it. You see and hear of it too. They're willing to do that. Even though to a certain extent, they're embarrassed by it when they marry a much older husband. They are a little embarrassed by it. But they're willing to do that. And some of it is because they grew up in very poor areas. They're willing to go to another country to, have another life or a better life or take their kids with them. But the thing is that they believe in marriage. They're not going to cut and run. Now some do. But most of the values that you see are real. Family, husband, God, those things are important to them. And they're also important to their families. And if they find out that children of theirs treated someone badly, like just left a husband to get over there, they wouldn't be treated so well by their family, and they'd be embarrassed. Excuse me. So, you have all of that happening. And so for the most part, Filipinos are honest and sincere. And you can see that, if you click on any of these, you have older, you have younger. Here's a nice looking girl who's 41, right? And some in their 30s. Because, if you're 30 in the Philippines and not married, you're considered kind of over the hill. I mean, not that way in the U.S., but in the Philippines, yeah. Now, here's another very attractive older woman. And the reason I'm pointing that out is, sometimes we overlook these mature women, and they're beautiful. We tend to think older women. No, mature. We say that about men. It's the same for women. You have a lot of mature women in the Philippines who are college graduates, beautiful people, nice people. And they're just looking for a husband. They never had that chance because a lot of the eligible men are taken and they don't want to marry beneath them because that's embarrassing for them. They'll lose their status. People will humiliate them. And so for them, to marry one of them, you would be very happy. So if you're an older guy in your 50s and 60s, you don't just have to look at younger women. Younger women can create their own problems too, And an older woman might be the right match for you. Seriously. They're intelligent. They're going to work as hard as they can for you. Really. They're going to, really take care of you. And they also understand they can't have children. And that's the key, okay? Because most of the younger women want kids. If they have kids of their own, that's different. And maybe that's why the older men marry the single mothers. But if you're going to marry a single girl without kids and don't have children, it's not going to be a good situation. They have been raised in their culture that they want and need to have children. They want them. It's not the same way in the U.S. I mean, for some women it is, but for Filipino women, they want to have children. It's a source of pride and joy to raise children for them. And if you take that away from them, of being a mother, it's really going to hurt them. And I can think of a couple of couples that we know where that's happened. And the Filipina will, they're not going to get divorced, but it really makes them unhappy. And they have to do other things to try to make up for it. So what I'm saying is, what are Filipinos looking for? They're looking for a stable guy, a guy that's going to take care of them and their family. They're looking for someone who's going to be honest with them. Hence the term you'll find out if you get serious. You understand me. You don't understand me. They have this thing that you intuitively understand what they need and want and being, sort of in their corner. And they'll say that to you. And that's important to them. These other things like, how beautiful you are or how much money you have, of course those things play an influence. But they're really looking for a nice guy, okay? Sort of the old-fashioned American guy. That's what they're looking for. And so just be honest with them. Now, if you don't have the money, you got to let them know. Because if you try to bring people over and you don't have money, it's just going to be a crash and burn. Because, man, well, first off, you can't get them over. But sometimes people can sort of, sign a waiver and support you in doing this, but it's a mess, okay? So if you are looking for a girl and don't have the money, don't bring them over. It's going to be rough, okay? Get the money first, get a good job, and then do it. You can, sort of date or whatever while you're doing it, but I would suggest not going any further. Now, for those of you, the older guys that don't have money and going over there for a good time, or do have money and go over there for a good time, it's really not, to me, it's not cool. You're really hurting a lot of girls that way, women in the Philippines, that really look up to men, and you're really going to destroy them in the eyes of, their town, their village, their family. Going to humiliate them for life. You know, especially if you never show up. And if you do show up and kind of leave, you know, after you've had a one-night stand, they'll hear that the rest of their lives. Be very serious with these girls, because that's how most of them treat foreigners, with respect. Now, not all of them. And things, like I said, have changed in the Philippines with the internet and everything else. But by and large, these are very, very God-fearing women who want to have a marriage, who want to have a good, you know, relationship, who want to work hard to help their family and your family. So, these are all great things, aren't they? And great things people are willing to wait for, right? We only have to wait a little while longer. And if you've never been to the Philippines, or you're in the market for meeting a girlfriend or a wife, the doors will open again. I promise you. I'll be back soon with another video. Meanwhile, like and subscribe, and let me know anything you want me to sort of talk about. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.